Why mediation? Why not a trial lawyer? Why not go back into the business world? Why not start your own business?
Well, it's sort of interesting. I went back, I really tried to develop the private trial world. And so I really marketed private trials very, very vigorously. And I think to date, in 4.5 years, I've done, Valerie, 20 of them? They just never really, for any number of reasons and mostly because lawyers are very, very adverse to change. They're the most resistant people to change on the planet. So I also liked and wanted to do mediation. And as it turns out, I had sort of a knack for it. And I'd say even with that, for the first 6 months, waiting for the phone to ring.
You've done it. You've transitioned from bench to become a mediator, and you become successful as a mediator. You're well organized, you're sought after, you have a successful practice. What advice do you have for judges who are looking to transition from the bench into mediation?
First, no one's going to hand it to you. You've got to look at it like your business. And it's like any business, and mediation is a business. Practicing law is a business. You've got to approach it from that standpoint. And when I did, I looked at it, I said, okay, how can I add value? How do I add value? And I looked at the process from sort of soup to nuts. And those people that have been at my facility, we have our own bathrooms. We work really hard to sort of have a really pleasant atmosphere. Valerie always has fresh cut flowers out there. We have, and we work harder than you can think, just figuring out what sort of snacks and sodas and drinks we're going to have. We constantly watch it. What do people like? What do they don't like? Valerie just had a stroke of brilliance a couple of months ago. We've added ice cream, but
Note to self: ice cream.
Ice cream, But so I looked at the facility. I said, okay, what else in the process is there that I like or don't like? I looked at mediation. I said, okay, other than the skill as a mediator, what else? Well, part of my one of the things when I looked around at what some other mediators are doing is they go to mediation and they come out with a sheet of notebook paper with like bullet points that everyone signs, which, as we all know, is completely unenforceable and means nothing. And then people go home and second guess everything and then go, well, I don't know, and they call you up. Why didn't I get $4 million? My friend said I should have gotten $4 million. And they second guess the deal and it falls apart. So we have created there a template of like language for every known dispute in mankind. And as I'm mediating, I have my wife Valerie is a lawyer who's a great writer, and I'm feeding her what I think the agreement is. So when people reach an agreement, for instance, when we have one with a family case with children, we reached an agreement, and I had a complete marital settlement agreement and parenting plan in their hands in less than an hour.
It sounds to me that what you're saying is find out what they want.
Right.
And that's the lawyers, and that's the mediating parties. Go out and get it.
Who are your customers? My customers are the lawyers. And I'm about making their job easier. I'm serving them. I'm mediating in the parties. A lot of mediators focus on the parties as their customers. The lawyers, I don't do pro se. So the lawyers are my customers, and the lawyers want to settle their cases, or they wouldn't be coming to me. So how can I help these lawyers achieve their goal, which is settling their case and coming up with an agreement that they feel is fair and treats their client. So that's I treat it just like a business, and we do that. There's not a single thing in my office that I haven't thought about. What kind of chairs do the people sit in? You know, we've got a little dog, our little dog Sweet Pea, who's there to set the atmosphere. You know, we've got, every single thing. We bring in food.
You're just not going to someone's office and saying, I'm here, let's get it on.
I don't do a mediation without, first, Valerie gives me a book like this with all the tabs, and I read it, so I know the case cold when the people come in. Sometimes I know it as well as the lawyers. And so like that's the key. It's about productivity. It's about adding value. It's like that in anything. If you're practicing law, it's the same way. If you're practicing law, your client is your customer. How do I add value? What is my client trying to achieve? How do I help him with that? And I have to add him more value than I cost him.
What about mediators? What advice would you have for mediators?
There's two parts to mediation. Your home, where you do your mediation, and it's about the right facility and getting the right sort of deal with the organization you're with. It's got to have a decent fit with you. And second, no one's going to hand it to you. You got to go out and you got to work. You got to market it. I mean, I worked hard for 6 months. I mean, you know what? Anyone who's had a firm, waiting for the phone to ring, it's, and you're working. But if you work at it long enough, it's like anything else, and you add value. My view is this: if you have the best product, they will find you. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're a plumber, if you're the best plumber, they'll find you. The best carpenter, the best lawyer, whatever, they'll find you. It may take a while. Focus on adding value and being the best. And I still work at it. I tell you, I'm 4.5 years into mediation. I'm still learning.
Well, I got to tell you, today you've added value to me. You've added value, I'm sure, to everyone else in the audience, and you've added value to everyone who's going to see this video.